What is up, my beautiful gemstones? Welcome to Friday night's live intuitive oracle with myself and Ghostdragonzw, who's already pressing buttons in the background. Having a great day. Thank you, Mark. You know, it always makes my day. I love that. That's why in my pre-recorded videos, you see up in the upper corner up here, it says Queen. I actually got that because of that with you, which is pretty funny. Yes, here we go. Anne is awake. Hallelujah. She rises. It's good to see you all. I'm having a great, what's up, Skyly girl? Latro, Cowie Blue, slow motion, everyone. I'm having a great day. I think I got everybody. I love seeing you guys all come pouring in. That's so amazing. The support. Having a good day. You'll notice, even though I talk a lot about my issues with my real hair, I did decide to wear it today, but you can see the patches that grew in gray and the bald spots. It's a mess. Josephine, what's up, girl? I see you. Roger Blair. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. The thing is, it got so hot in New Jersey, like over the last couple of days. I don't have my air conditioner in my bedroom yet. And that's where I stream from. Too hot to be wearing that wig. Like, I'm just like, you know what? They're going to have to deal. So y'all going to have to deal. I got on my giddy tea and this is my pure Jersey look here. My everyday look, I should say. So, yeah, I was talking to Ghost, and tomorrow I'm taking RJ to his very first ever movie theater movie. Now, he's going to be 7, and I know a lot of people are like, Gemma, what do you mean he's going to be 7 and he's never been to the movie theater? No, he's an iPad kid, okay? His attention span is between 30 and 60 seconds. We've never even sat and watched an entire movie because he gets too restless. But when we were at Liberty Science Center last week during spring break, he sat through like a 40-minute documentary about the monarch butterfly. And he sat and he was so interested and he loved it. So the only thing is, I think I ordered regular tickets and not the IMAX 3D. So if they have 3D there, I'll upgrade, I guess, when we get there. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm really excited. So anyone I missed, my little love bug there, Jim's camera at dawn. I'm anxious to just get started and chit chat along the way, as always. I think that's what keeps the streams going a lot of the time is like I talk so much. Otherwise, we'd be done so quick lately, it seems. Just in FYI, go ahead, Skyly girl, ask your question. A lot of, well, I can't say a lot of people have been asking, but I'm going to say it anyway because I finally feel I have the rights. I did get screwed out of my last pay and probably about $1,000 to $1,200 in revenue from the channel I wrote for. So I'm just putting that out there. I'm letting everyone know. And, you know, I maintain the rights to my own professional property, meaning even if someone pays me for scripts, or at least in that situation, we had a written agreement that I can use my scripts anywhere and everywhere that I want, even though they were for that channel. So if I don't get paid, I'm going to be writing a book entitled the name of that channel and whatever. Like I'm playing spite game at this point, but I think everyone should know, you know, that's not right to have someone work for you and do things for your channel where you're getting like 1 million views and you know, thousands of views, and you have a little guy working for you, and then you say, well, you know, the money's pending, it's pending, I'm not putting any money in there to make it go through, and good luck with your 100 subscribers. Okay. So, all right. That's that. Yeah, Edna, you did tell me that. I wrote it down and I never got to it. Tennille sent me a whole bunch of stuff. I'm so afraid with my hair. Like, to wake up one day and see chunks of hair just lying there, right? So I am on a new supplement, L-methylfolate. My doctor highly recommended it. I saw it on TikTok. It's not doing what everyone's saying that it's supposed to do, which is give me happiness and help with the dopamine stuff that addicts deal with. But maybe it'll help with my hair. But I will use that mix. Arisha, Tennille's sister, sent me some really amazing oil. Probably a mix just like that for my hair. And it was doing so well, but I ran out. So I've got to ask her for more. Okay. Let me answer Miss Skyly's question and then I'll bring in the ghost dragon. What's up, Bat Mom? So let's see. Hold on, Skyly. I'm just looking for your question. So I have 50 subscribers and it still won't let me stream, and I have a verified phone number. Okay, so my friend John, his name is It's Jack in the Box on YouTube and TikTok. He's been on TikTok for a couple of years. He talks about wrestling, right? I've known him since I was 7. He's always been a wrestling fanatic. He's 3 months younger than me, so he's my age. Loves wrestling, right? He goes to all the events. He dresses up like the characters. He has all the belts. Like, he's just, you could tell we were friends when we were little because we're both nerds. So I was asking him for advice about TikTok, and he was asking me for advice on YouTube because I was moving my content to TikTok and he was moving his to YouTube. And the one thing he did say, and I kind of can attest to this, is that once he got enough subscribers to live stream, he still had to wait a couple of days. Here's the problem. If I look on YouTube through my studio app on my phone, it'll tell me I have just a random number, 5,675 subscribers, right? If I look on my studio app on my computer, it'll say I have 5,760 subscribers. And if I look at actual YouTube on my phone or computer, it'll be a different number. So whatever the number is of like people, like if 2 people unsubscribe, they don't really let you know, but it doesn't add up. Skyly, I would say just give it another day or 2. If you guys want to go and subscribe to Skyly's channel, she's a young woman, just trying to find her feet on YouTube. I don't really think you have any set niche that you're really doing. You're kind of just trying to get to know people and talk to people. You are very young, and I do want to let people know that, but I don't think we have a bad crew in here where I would have to worry about anyone like harassing you. Maybe just subscribe to help her get the subscriber count up. I think it's like once you hit probably like 60, and I know that's really a bummer because, you've waited this long to get 50. The algorithm should catch up. So just be a little more patient. You're almost there. It depends what YouTube is looking at, because in each place you look, it'll be different numbers. It's the most ineffective way of running is YouTube. Seriously. Let's bring in Ghost Dragons. Oops, sorry. I didn't see Miss Pixie come in. Skyly girl, I don't think you're a wrench, but if you could write the name of your channel, I'll have Ghostdragonzw pop your link in. Hey, Ghosty.
Hello. Miss Pixie had to take care of a kitty, so she's leaving over the Rainbow Bridge. So much love, Miss Pixie. We're with you.
So your YouTube channel is, I'm looking it up here, it's just called Skyly.
Yeah, every time I tried the one night, I couldn't do it. Somebody else, KC came in out of nowhere and did it for me, because every time I put it in, it showed up. It just automatically switched over to the stream.
Yeah, I don't know. I see.
Damien,
what is up, my boy? So good to see you, everyone. My son, Sir Damien over here. All mods can post channels. Yeah, she's not a mod yet, though. If you guys can find her channel, if someone can just put it in the chat to help her out, I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. With that, let's get started. Damien, do you want a reading? He's my son, guys, so he's got to go first. Even though he'll yell at me later and be like, I don't know why you did that.
It's me. I did something wrong.
My mom. Hi, Mom.
Hello, Mom. How you doing, sweetie?
We all know who me is at this point. All right, Mother, would you like a reading before we get started with everything tonight? So, Studio has more up-to-date info. Yeah, it's so weird. I'll have videos that'll say no views, but then I'll have 5 comments and 12 likes. So how do I have no views if at least 7 people watched it?
Yeah, I've seen that so many times on other channels too.
It's so strange.
It is weird. That's YouTube for you. Well, YouTube's getting, I don't know what its issue is.
YouTube better do something. We used to have 100 subscribers in order to go live.
Well, I don't know. It might be because of her age, too.
Well,
that might not.
If she told them. No. I'm telling you, the same exact thing happened to my friend John like 3 weeks ago. He's like, I'm not understanding. I was like, we only had to have 100, but we did have to have 4,000 view hours. And oh, there she is.
Hi, Mom.
What's up, Mom? Do you want a reading?
That's funny.
There she is. I was surprised. I was like, wow, Damien's here.
I did too. I was like, wow, but that was out of blue.
All right, let's do whoever was first, and then I'll take care of Mom. Skyly, yes, before you leave tonight, remind me, and if I have to, I'll go in and get your channel.
Yeah, every time I did it, I had a problem. It kept sending it back to the stream. It switched.
Or you can text me the link, and I'll post it from my phone into the chat. Yeah. Who's first?
Okay, let's do your mom. She said yes, and then we'll do.
Yes? Okay.
And then Mark is next. Hello, Mark. Good sir.
All right, Mom, I'm going to use Oracle of the Radiant Sun. Okay, that's cool, Latro. Thanks for stopping in anyway. Showing some love. Okay. So you got, I think this is Jupiter. Just give me a second. Yes, I got it right. Jupiter in Cancer. I know you're a Cancer sun. This doesn't necessarily mean your Jupiter in your chart, Mom, is in Cancer, but it does mean that's the energy coming in for you in the next couple of weeks. Kelly Lewis, what's up, girl? She said the name of her channel is Skyly. I think I did see it, but I couldn't click on it to get to the actual channel. It was just showing me shorts because then I would have had to click it. I don't watch YouTube while I'm streaming on the StreamYard, but I will make sure it's done. Because just to give her that little boost so she can get to that point with live streaming, I know that's a really exciting thing, you know, when you finally get there. All right. Mom, in order to expand and develop their lives, people with Jupiter in Cancer feel the need to keep and develop their strong sense of family roots and traditions. This desire to be around and care for others may spread into work for the community at large, which may be seen as an extension of the family. Jupiter Cancerians also benefit from exploring their talent for historical research or for expanding their understanding of the past. The early family upbringing of people with the Jupiter-Cancer combination have usually been supportive and comfortable, and so they try to pass these qualities on to those surrounding them. If not inheritors of material possessions, they certainly inherit strong family traditions, and most usually, often both. Often, people with Jupiter in Cancer receive a family inheritance that may become the basis for establishing a family business. People with this planet sign combination usually have an excellent feeling for acquiring property and for improving its value. Their own home may at some time be used for gatherings. When this card is drawn during a reading, it encourages the questioners to look to his or her family for support and even financial help with regard to the question asked. The speculation card is also a good indication of a successful outcome to an imminent deal. So a legal situation involving home, running a family business from home, exploiting an inheritance to the benefit of the family. So I'm not really getting, I think she said she had 50. I'm not getting anything about you running a business, obviously. But the thing with this card, Mom, is like the next couple of weeks, this is you really leaning on your family and family coming together, right? So we recently had, unfortunately, a death in our family, and I do feel that that's a big part of what this card is talking about, just spending more time with family and really kind of, you know, thinking about the future. You know, where are you going? Who are you going to be going with? Where are you going to be? This is like a 1 year, 5 year, 10 year plan. And it's not like you're sitting there making actual plans like, all right, in a year, I'm going to be here. You know, you're going with the flow. But I do feel the next couple of weeks, if it hasn't started already, you're going to do a lot more questioning, or you're going to be questioning a lot more than you normally do, just about like life and like, what do you want to be doing and with whom? I also feel like, and you know what? Wait, before I get into the next thing, I want you to say, accept these feelings. Don't let them make you panicked. It's not supposed to be a fretful or frightful thing, right? It's just you maybe wanting a little bit more, at least in one area, and probably in multiple areas of like, all right, yes, I'm happy, I'm content, but what can I do to feel more so, like more happy, more content, right? Because if you're not feeling it now, you will be, that there's like in some area something missing. Okay. And I really think this is you, like, you know, thinking about, what is the word I'm looking for? Your mortality, right? The places you've been, the places you are, and where you're going, which is very normal when, a friend passes. So the next thing I saw the minute I picked up this card was, for some reason, like this speculation about you going around. Hey, what's up, Smoochie Girl? Particularly mom in the family. So this doesn't have to be blood-related family. It could be people that are like family to you. You know, we keep small circles in our family. We don't talk to or hang out with or give intimate details to anybody, right? Like, it's like we've got like our 10, and like that's who we're with. So, but there is speculation coming in that could end up causing some drama. Somebody saying you said something you didn't say, or somebody taking something you said the wrong way, and then you've got an issue. Look, I feel like with you questioning the way you are, with you trying to find things to look forward to and maybe find some direction in some area of your life in the next couple of weeks, it's like, just know that if you were taken the wrong way, or if someone's lying about you, you're not even going to have to do anything, because the people that you're closest to are going to know the truth, whether they were there or not, or heard it or not, because they know your heart. So they're going to defend you without you even having to do much. I do see like some maybe jealousy, of maybe where you're spending your time, who you're spending your time with, how much time you're spending. I don't, I would say do what makes you happy, do what you feel you should be doing in any moment. And if you do start reminiscing too much to the point where you start feeling down, just start thinking about not only what you want to do with the future, but how to conceivably, proactively, and reasonably start doing them, right? Where are the first steps in your next big adventure? Because I do feel like you're longing for something deep down inside. All right, who's next?
Sir Mark is next.
Thank you, everybody. This person wasn't blood related, but she was through marriage, and a very big part of a lot of my family's lives. I knew her fairly well, got along with her very well, and I've been praying for her family that she left behind. Mark, I am using the Talisman Oracle. Well, no, I know that, but I think that it's like by the time you get wind of it, that it even happened, it's going to be over with, because like other people are already going to shut it down. Do you know what I'm saying? So therefore you can choose, do I want to get mad about this and like go after this person and say something myself, or do I want to just let it go because I don't need the drama, right? So sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. I forgot something. Okay. I believe that too, Batmom. I don't like to publicly put her on the spot or anything. Not that she cares. I mean, she said it publicly before, but I do think that's what it is. And I feel like with everything going on, that longing, Mom, could become a lot stronger in the next week or two, because you're thinking about your own mortality. You know, what legacy are you leaving behind? And it's not that anything's going to happen to you, but when people pass away, sometimes that happens. And I do feel like you just have so much going on in your head and so many things you're anxious about that it may be affecting you a little bit more, longing for partnership, companionship, or something that you're deep down inside wanting. And that's what I mean. I don't even think it's going to get to the point where you're even bothered by whatever this is, but there is some resentment forming around you somewhere. Mark, you got the card of protection. You are divinely protected. The scary door knocker in the center of this card is here to protect you. Cast away the darkness and bring good fortune and health to you, your home, and your family. Spend some time with this card to feel its power. Imagine the force field that radiates outward and expands as you strengthen your intent. You are shielded in this dome, and all the negative energy, curses, and bad wishes will bounce off of it. If a negative vibe approaches, your energy shines bright and powerful and quickly repels it. Embrace and comfort your inner child that was left longing. You are safe in this time and space. Your affirmation, I am sheltered. That's what my mom has said. She's like, I'm not even like looking for romance, right? I just want my mom's used that word, companionship, right? And who doesn't want that in their life? You know what I'm saying? Mark, once again, I feel like the issue isn't you, but the people around you. For some reason, you have, again, these negative Nellies that, that are around you, just kind of poo-pooing everything that you do or things that you say, or like how you're living your life and your spiritual path specifically. So I do see you coming up against someone, this kind of brick wall of energy when it comes to things like sound healing, spirituality, spirit guides. I don't know why this would come up in a conversation. Maybe somebody has asked you questions. I feel like there are people who are looking at you, or there's at least one person, Mark, and they're fascinated almost by certain aspects of things that you're doing spiritually. But at the same time, their ego and their fear is forcing them to kind of lash out. Right? Wishing you ill will, giving you the evil eye, right? I feel you also, Mark, I want you to be very careful with as far as guarding and protecting yourself, keeping yourself balanced and aligned in the next 2 weeks, because someone is really just like not liking you. And the problem is this person has a very lower vibrational, I don't want to say demonic, but it's like almost there, attachment that is making them, compelling them to focus on you. Why you? Because your light shines very bright. You're very authentic in, your spiritual nature. You're very aligned. You're very aware of your emotional and energetic vibrations. And this entity that is now for some reason around you, so maybe it's a new resident or a new tenant where you live, they do not like you and they have you in their sights. This doesn't mean you'll even know who it, like they might not even say anything to you. In fact, I see them trying to like buddy up and cozy up with you so that they can like grab a piece of your hair. Like this person is sick and a bit demented. So the best way to not have any contact with this person is to, for the next 2 weeks, not saying don't talk to new people, right? But don't be as open. Don't be as straightforward with your spiritual beliefs and like the things you work on in private for your own spiritual self. There's somebody here that is really, they're not a positive figure. And again, I see them like trying to pal around with you just to try to feed this entity and get it off of their back. I almost choked on that. That's a very oddly specific reason or reading. But I also feel like you're strong enough that you should be able to sniff this person out. Like the moment they come around you, for some reason, whether you're aware of what it is or not, you are going to be completely put off and turned off by them. That's your light antagonizing their demon or their attachment. And just be sure to shield yourself, okay, a little bit better, and to be, less open, okay, in the next 2 weeks. It doesn't mean forever. I feel like this person, this entity is going to move on to the next as soon as they realize they can't get to you, that you're protected, you're anointed, as the card says.
Next is blue.
I'm listening to the Our Thing podcast. I watched all 4 seasons of Chosen. I watched the 1 season of House of David, which I'm so excited for season 2. Now I'm watching Our Thing. It's Sammy the Bull Gravano. Like he's telling his whole story. All right, Sir Blue. Too. What?
Private chat.
All right, I got you. Blue, what are we using today? Blue, let's use your deck, the Deep, Dark, and Dangerous. You should be able to, like I said, sniff them out right away, because you are very open and you are very aware of what's going on around you spiritually. Even if you can't physically see other people's attachments, I feel like you're one of the few who do know they're there. So, it shouldn't be an issue. But I feel like it's a little bit more strong, or a little bit stronger, a little bit more overwhelming than it would normally be. Perhaps maybe you're extra tired in the next couple of weeks, or something else is going on physically, which does lower our spiritual defenses as well. Apuk, the card of fear, card number 12, and it is a deep card. You must understand your fears if you can. Oh, before I forget, Blue, I'm sorry. Before I forget, guys, my hiatus from the pre-recorded paranormal / true crime stories is over for now. So Monday morning, we will have a video. It's called Number 333, The 20-Year Haunting. It is a true story. It's based on a book about a house that in Sheffield, England, that's been haunted. But I'm going to do it in parts, because when I did a couple surveys, I talked to a lot of people, and people prefer like 15 to 30-minute videos, not the 40-hour longs, which is okay. It's just we're going to have to watch it in parts. So I know a lot of y'all were like, when are you going to be doing paranormal? You're not doing anything. And I'm like, I just needed a little break. I needed to reset, because when it stops becoming fun and it becomes work, the money issue becomes a problem, right? But when I step back for a couple of weeks and I'm like, I'm just doing this for fun, then it's easier to do. And sometimes I really do need to take that time. So, but Monday morning, we'll be right back on schedule at 11 a.m. Eastern with the 20-Year Haunting. All right, Blue. You must understand your fears if you can. Stand strong against your fear. Fear is a natural and useful emotion as it protects you. What doesn't are fears that are not real. You must learn that not all fears are real. Some fears you carry are not your own. Confront your fears, and death is a part of life. There are some gods who truly are frightening, and this is part of the work they do. Apuk, the Mayan god of the dead, is one of these deities. He comes out of his underworld home, the nastiest of the 9 levels of hell, called Mitnal, stretches his skeletal body, and smiles his sharp white-toothed grin. Then he begins to make a way through the human village along the stone pathways. The Mayan people rightly feared death because of the horrors said to await them should they go to this hellish place, and they were always aware that Apuk could indeed be waiting to take them around the next bend. With his cadaverous body and frightening smile, he wears bells and a headdress of human bones. He's not hiding his presence as he walks the cobblestones. He is noisy and can be seen, and knows the people will be even more terrified if they know he's around. If you're out on the streets late at night, or if there is sickness at home or in the village, you'd better watch out. Apuk is proud of the fact that he can induce fear, and in fact, that is what he eats, fear. The people know that Apuk doesn't just come gently for you. He will wait patiently for your death, hunt you, and stalk you. This will make you frightened and, yum, more fear food. He gulps people's fear down with relish, yet he's rarely satiated. The people know, too, that there is only one thing to scare Apuk away, and that's to open the doors and scream and shout and sing. Apuk loses his power when his bells cannot be heard, and he is forced to be courageous. I'm sorry, and he is faced with courageousness. Courage. Should just say courage. If this is done, if Apuk is not heard but faced or simply ignored, he slinks back into his underworld home. Standing strong against any fear, feeling it, shining the light on it, confronting it, these are all lessons from Apuk. It is better to know precisely what the fear is when we hear the bells, so we actually know specifically what we're afraid of. Hey, Thebes! Not knowing what we are actually afraid of or simply entertaining nebulous fear is worse. Netter, what's up, baby? Plant companion, golden spoon, crystal companion, hematite, which is a great stone. And hematite is in the top, I would say 5 for blocking, banishing negativity, negative energy. Of course, last week we missed you, not this week. Blue, I do feel like this is you, like, really needing in the next couple of weeks to sit down. I'm seeing like imminent, urgent. That's like the flash, like, and make a decision about something. I feel like a lot of the reason you've been going back and forth with a decision about something is because, and you may not even be aware of this, there is some kind of fear there. Fear of, not being good enough to accept the opportunity. And I think I know what this is about because we talked a little bit about it. Where it's like, if you're going to say no to an opportunity, know exactly why you're saying no, right? Rather than thinking of all these ideas in your head as to why something won't work or can't work or why you don't want to do something or don't feel you should. You have to face, in this particular situation, face up to the fact that there is some sort of fear here. And it will end up being nebulous because the thing that's bothering like your spirit in regards to this situation, it's not really a threat, right? You can go out and do almost whatever you want and you're not going to have any issues. So I guess what I'm saying here is the universe is telling you, you could accept this opportunity if you really want to and if you feel that's what's right for you. But if you don't, make sure you know exactly why, because for some reason I see this coming back of like, if you don't face up to why you're not accepting it and just make like excuses or something to tell yourself to ease your mind, you're always going to wonder, like it's going to come back around one day and you're going to wonder, what if I had taken that opportunity? Now, I'm not saying whether you should or shouldn't take it. I'm not seeing that. But what I am seeing is whichever way you go, particularly if you choose not to go through with whatever this is or not accept this offer, this opportunity, to make sure you really know why so that you can stand firm and strong in that decision, stand on business on that decision, so it's never going to come back around to haunt you. I always miss you, Netter. Infinite Psychosis, what's up? So, I know Slow-Mo's on the other side of the pond, so we got to make sure that he's not going anywhere. And I don't want to jump people, but Carly, if you have to leave, I think you just said I'd like to read for you before you do have to go. If that's okay.
Okay, if you want to, Edna's next. Then it was Slow. If you want to do Siebes after Slow, that's fine with me. And then Josephine.
So, Aunt Edna, Slow Motion, Siebes, and Josephine. Got you. Rainwater, what is up and welcome?
Hello, Rainwater. Thank you again for coming in and saying hi.
And I'm going to use Lantern Oracle. No, I didn't need to skip anybody. I just want to make sure they're not. I keep forgetting, like, my list has been cut into like a third in the past couple of weeks. I'm used to having 40 people in here. Guys, please don't forget to donate if you can. It's not just about the $2 for the reading. If you're able to, nobody has to. Obviously, it's not compulsory. Okay, Josephine, your reading hasn't been done yet. There's this reading, 2 others, and then you. So you're 4th on the list right now. And out of all the cards, right? Somebody pulled this last week. If not in stream, in a personal. Distorted perceptions, card number 7. Reality is rarely what we are raised to believe it is. How we experience the world changes throughout life. Such shifts in perception typically occur when an event, a person, a place, or a new life stage leaves us questioning something integral to what had been our understanding of the world or ourselves. Consequently, our perception and thinking shifts irreversibly and changes how we experience our reality. The maiden's expression, "Hey, Stevie B," is calm and accepting as she observes the world without the distorted lens of the feathered tent. The tent represents the outdated cultural, ancestral, and social conditioning she is awakened from. She stands firm and in solemn awe of the wisdom revealed in her newfound worldview. All that she had been raised to believe about the world and herself no longer applies. She sees beyond how limited and false certain aspects of her perception and understanding had been. With this new perspective and clarity, it is now possible for her to grow beyond rather than blindly repeat the intergenerational patterns, fears, and false beliefs that would otherwise have a deterring effect on the life she would go on to live. A sophisticated shift in consciousness will soon be made available to you. Initially, seeing things differently may feel alienating or even like a betrayal or a great loss. It may present initial challenges in what to do with and about this new perspective, especially if what you had envisioned for your life is dramatically altered as a result. The maiden assures you that any confusion, grief, or upheaval from releasing distorted perceptions or limiting beliefs will eventually open into amazing opportunities, remarkable growth, and an increase in self-sovereignty. Power, beauty, and liberation happen when we do not close our eyes or retreat back into the mentality we have outgrown. So, and this is actually a really important message for you. As you've been for the last few years that I've been reading for you, I mean, my gosh, thank you. And so many of you for your weekly loyalty. It's so cool. And I'm sorry, I do have my windows open. It's hot in here in New Jersey tonight. There's still a part of you, I think, that not wonders if it's your fault, right? Because you're onto the games, you can spot the manipulation, you understand how you've been played time and again, and you've allowed it, right, to a point where it's like, well, you know, I know they're lying, but kind of like when I talk to my dad. And he says, I'm not even getting high. Is it really worth it for me to be like, Daddy, you're high right now? What is that going to do? That's going to make him go back at me in his slur rant until he falls asleep in the middle of the conversation. So I just say, oh, yeah, I know. But I don't have $20 for you, right? Whereas 3 years ago, I would have been going all crazy trying to get him this $20 just to show him, like, I'm here for you. I support you. I'm here for you. I don't do that anymore. And that's the kind of situation I see here. Your perceptions, I don't see this as your perceptions being distorted. I see it as you are no longer experiencing a distorted perception, which is great. Kelly, you're fine. No, you're good. Which is great for you because you're going to be able to stand strong, like I said to Blue, and stand firm in the decisions you're making, especially regarding the people around you. What's up, Divine? But in the next couple of weeks, I feel like you are so open and so aware that you may start picking up things that, yeah, because you're over it. Like, you're done with it. You're like, you know what? I already know how this movie ends, right? And I'm not playing my role anymore. I'm rescinding myself from this drama, right? But in the next couple of weeks, being so open and aware and like kind of on this little bit of I would call it kind of a spiritual high, from just feeling good about like shedding that and being like, you know what, I earned up to my part in it, whatever part that was, even playing along. That's a bad role we play, you know, not wanting to bring anything up and just kind of being like, it's easier to just go along. Like finally shedding all of that you may want to take on other situations full force, right? And I don't see you as someone who doesn't like confront things and takes responsibility for your actions and confronts people when they're wrong. But I feel like in the next couple of weeks, it would be better for you to just sit and watch and listen, right? Even if somebody's trying to manipulate you, like don't call them out on it right away if possible. The universe wants to expose them itself. So there's someone here, and it could be the same person you've been dealing with that you're like coming off this strong suit of like, I already told them and I'm going to stand on business. That's good. Do that with your actions, but with words, try not to talk about it too much, because this person is about to move on to someone else, or if they're already on other people, it's like more so onto someone else who I feel like needs to learn all about them on their own, like without your verbal influence, if that makes sense. So while it might feel good and be very easy and appropriate, right, for you to lash out and be like, no, leave so-and-so alone. Don't bring them into your BS. Like, we're done. Let, you know, if you're going to let this person go and truly are just over and done with being on, you know, being in a rerun, truly let it go. And let them go and do and say and think and want and feel and need and manipulate and whatever, who and or whatever they want to do, wherever they want to do it, because it's not going to last very long. This person is in the NFL zone, no friends left, and they're almost in the end zone. If you interfere and start telling people who don't already know, I'm sure with people like the person you were dealing with, I just see this big energy of like, everybody knows how this person is. But there are some people who are still fooled. Unfortunately, it's their lesson to learn. Continue, as hard as it may be, not to step in and help and say, listen, don't you see what's really going on? It's their lesson to learn about being manipulated and fooled by being fooled. Do you know what I'm saying? So as much as I know your heart that you just don't want anyone to suffer the way you did and go through the same things, the next 2 weeks, now after that, I'll keep reading for you and we'll see. But for the next 2 weeks, please sit on the sidelines and watch life play out. Okay, these people or this person, I do see a couple, which is odd because when I see a manipulator, there's always the person I'm reading for, usually the victim. Sometimes they're the manipulator, but usually the victim. And then there's like one other person. This person has like a sea of people like lined up, like, all right, Edna's not talking to me anymore. Click, let me call this one. Oh, they said no, let me call it. Like, it was like my rotary when I was in addiction of people to ask for money. You know, like I'll call this one at 203, 205, you know, no matter how many said yes, I'm still going to go through the rest of the list. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what I'm seeing here. So of course it will make your heart hurt and your head hurt. But don't let it get to you. Just remember these words. I know you trust in me. We've been through a lot together and we're very much alike spiritually. Know that I would never steer you wrong because it's not me. Your guides are telling you, please. And it's a lesson for you to learn too about letting other people live and not trying to fix everybody. Even if you know for a fact you can, sometimes it's just not your place because they have to learn the right lessons at the right times. Otherwise, you're going to save them from it this time and they're going to step right back into it because the lesson isn't learned and to save them. Okay. I hope that makes sense. Jason Finch, what's up? Who's next? Slow motion?
Yes, he is.
Slow motion. I'm going to use the Halloween Oracle. I like using this one on you because I'm pretty sure your birthday is Halloween. Blue, yeah. And, you know, when we discussed it a little bit the other day, I remember thinking like, wow, this would be a major shift in course. But, you know, as I encouraged you there just as your friend, and now your team is telling you, you know, the decision is yours to make, but be very, very mindful and sure of why you make either decision to go forward or the decision not to. Don't let there be any questions because it will come back to haunt you in the long run, if so. Jason, don't worry about it. I don't think you said anything weird. We all hit the wrong buttons all the time. It is. Yep, I thought so. Skull of Flowers, creating through the ashes. Before flowers are born, they are sweet buds on a plant that came from a smaller form like a seed or a bulb. The seed needs prepared, nourishing soil to grow to its potential. Some plants and trees only seed after fire or a period of extreme adversity like drought or flood. Sometimes we wish for a little for a life different from the one we have, and that can mean radical change. Sometimes to have that new life, everything falls apart to make it so, and that can be uncomfortable. We may lose our relationships, or they may all change. We might lose a job, have to move house, or become ill, all big events that lead to a reassessment of the how of our lives. The Skull of Flowers illustrates that there is a sureness and yet a rawness to creating again, to starting afresh. Sometimes the universe gives us a blank slate to work from, so we can build what we really want rather than just settling for less. The Skull of Flowers celebrates not just a kind of phoenix energy, but an energy of success and full bloom through adversity. Okay. So slow motion, I feel like, this is a little bit of a theme already, where it's like you do want certain changes in your life, whether you realize it's like changes that need to be made, or it's just like, I wish that by now I was doing this, or I wish that I hadn't done that. And it's just like I said to my mom, kind of thinking of where you are in your life, how you got to where you are, and where you actually want to be, right? What the universe is saying is, in the next couple of weeks, it could come up some sort of reminder of like where you expected to be by now in life and where you actually are. And it's like with someone, or maybe even your own self, making you feel like you've disappointed or let yourself down in some area. This is a very tricky situation to explain, so bear with me. So for example, 8-year-old you said you would be married and owning a Lamborghini with 10 kids by the time you were 40. And now you're 45 and none of that is true. Just an example. You're not married. You don't own a Lamborghini. You work at McDonald's and you don't have any kids. But that's your life. And that's the life you've created for yourself. And that's what you've got to stand on and be in. And I feel like somebody else is like, oh, really? That's all you do? Well, I have a Lamborghini. And it's like, I just don't like this energy coming up, but I can't tell if it's a person from the past or some kind of memory that's going to trigger this in you, where you do run the risk of, described as a fire in the brain and making many changes at the moment, which, okay. So you run the risk of kind of like being like wallowing in that. So that actually puts a lot of this into perspective for me. Thank you. Remember that every decision you made for a reason. There's no point in thinking like, why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do this? Now, that's probably why I'm seeing like all of this confusion. And I'm like, I don't really know kind of what this is. The next thing I will say to you regarding that is, in the next 2 weeks, be very mindful. I don't want to say about what's real and what isn't, but I feel like your mind could play tricks on you when it comes to memories, when it comes to people you're dealing with, not going forward forever. In the next few weeks, as you continue to recover from this stroke, you could find yourself in confusion. You could find yourself, don't let any of it get to you. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not a professional doctor or therapist, and I don't like saying these types of things, but I'm seeing the possibility for kind of like a depression, right? A mental depression, which is going to come from spiritual confusion and lack of spiritual awareness due to what happened, the fire in your brain. Please just do me a favor, yourself and everyone that loves you. Take some deep breaths, like take it very slow in making major decisions. You could convince yourself to do something that is like way out of whack, not in line with your path at all, totally maybe even against your belief system, because in the moment it made sense to you. Make sure that every major decision you're making in the next 2 to 3 weeks, you know exactly why you're doing it, and maybe you run it by someone you trust. I just feel like this very large margin, or like this very big room for error here. And I don't know in what. It's like your decision making is skewed and your mind's running rampant, and you're asking yourself all of these questions, like meaningless, like why not and what if, and you're apt to do something very, first of all, unlike you, and secondly, just like, what is the word? Spontaneously, seemingly out of the clear blue sky, something very much unlike you. Please just take a step back as best as you can with what's going on, and understand that, if you can get from moment to moment, you're probably going to not go through with whatever this is. Don't make any irrational split second hair trigger decisions in the next 2 to 3 weeks, because you will end up regretting them big time, if not totally destroying everything you've worked for the past few years. Even if that doesn't seem like much, it's yours. Have had many instances of that already. Being aware of what might cause it helps. Having some very loving family members watching me like a hawk. Great. Yes, I'm so glad to hear that. Because yeah, I feel like this major spontaneous nonsensical decision is coming in, and if you're not careful, you're going to end up getting hurt, or physically, or financially, emotionally. Like, there are so many different things that could happen here by you making an outrageous, and I can't think of the word I'm looking for, but not a very good decision, a very bad decision based on a split second of information in this fire inside of your brain. So please, anything major and big that you do, make sure that you run it by a family member that you love and trust, and roll with what they say. Just humor them. In the moment, you'll maybe think you're humoring them, but once you come back to yourself and come back to seeing and thinking straight, you'll understand that they really protected you and you dodged a bullet. Who's next? Siebes?
Yes, you are correct.
All right, Miss Siebes, we got goddess power. Kuan Yin, the card of compassion, in the reverse position. Card number 27. Are you feeling overwhelmed by all the suffering in the world and you can't imagine how you can make a difference? Do you feel hopeless over how we treat nature and each other? The goddess Kuan Yin knows that this is an important time of reckoning and reordering, but wants you to be careful not to fall into a pit of despair. If you allow the media to fill your mind with a constant barrage of what's wrong in the world, you will become numb and unable to move. The good news is, in your alignment task, first, focus your mind locally. Your choice is not to save the whole world, but to bring your attention to where you can actually help. Even the smallest step toward a greater compassion is huge. Yes, Josephine, you're next, honey. Educate yourself about cultural issues and be better and more conscious and sensitive about your choices. Lend a helping hand to someone in need, volunteer your time, and choose an act of random kindness daily to help alleviate suffering. Do what you can and make that count. So Siebes, I don't know if she's still here, so please take down the time. I didn't make sure she was here before I started reading, but she did say she had to leave, and she is a member, so I rolled with it. Miss Carly, I do feel like in the next couple of weeks, I mean, there's a lot of questioning, no doubt, in the collective in the next couple of weeks, because it's coming up time and again. You are either doom scrolling, or there's someone personally in your life, like just all of this negativity flowing through your mind, which is starting to penetrate your spirit and your being. And then it starts to affect the way you live and the way you feel and the things you do. What the universe is saying is, get out there. Talk to people, meet people, do different things, meet new people, take chances, take any opportunity you can to get out and do something different, because that's where you're going to find your path to humanitarianism in your own way. This doesn't mean saving the world, like the card said. It means doing a little bit, maybe day by day, maybe once a week, going and doing something where you can actually see the difference you're making in someone's life. I feel like for some reason you really need that right now, whether someone recently has done something major for you and you want to give back, or you're just going through so much that you want to find kindred spirits, right? Who either have or are still going through the exact same things and leaning on and helping each other. This is like a support group. All right, cool. A support group, volunteer work. There's something here with like a group of people coming together for the common good. Okay. Now it could be, take it as it resonates, something small, like you and a few people you work with going to do something and having fun together and taking each other's stresses and worries away. But there's a major emphasis in your reading on a group. Okay. More than one, more than two, like a few people, you being around them. Do not be alone unless you absolutely have to be in the next couple of weeks. I mean, to a degree, obviously, use discretion and discernment, but I do feel like you're going to benefit so much from just other people's experiences, and advice that you're going to be given is going to be something that could possibly change your life, or at the very least, the direction you're going in right now in some negative area of your life. But if you're home alone and just on the internet and like, I'm not going out there, I always said it, people hurt you. So I don't want to go outside. Right. If you're doing that, then there's no opportunity for these messages to get to you, because they're not coming from spirit. They're coming from other human beings. So please don't take any advice, warnings, or anything like that lightly in the next couple of weeks. Again, use discernment. Don't allow yourself, obviously, to be lied to or manipulated. But I feel like being around a group of people, could be volunteering. It could be, a church group. Like, I don't know what you're into, but there's something here that's really putting emphasis on community, on the group. All right. And you being involved, and it changing you from the inside out and really helping you move forward from something going on in your life or a situation you're stuck on that's already passed, but you can't get through. Josephine, I am going to use Dark Goddess. I love it too. I can't wait to get my license back so I could do more of it. My friend, my best mom friend, May, she messaged me just last night. She wanted me to either donate $20 or spend $20 to sign up to run a marathon with her for something about cancer, kids with cancer or something. But I'm like, I don't have that. Like, I would love to do it, but I don't have a spare $20. Like, I can't. I remember signing up for it last year, and I at least, gave the money in, but I never was able to show up. But if she's doing it, she can bring me, but I just don't have it. So I actually have to message her and tell her I can't do it. Try every day to be the best person I can be, big or small. And, that's what matters, right? That is absolutely what matters, is that as long as we can lay our heads down at night knowing we did the very best we could for that day with what we were given and what we have, that's all the universe wants. Kelly, you're next. I'm reading for Josephine right now. Steves, and that's something you'll learn and grow out of. That's why I said practice discernment. I think that might be a lesson here, with understanding. I have someone in my life who's very new in recovery. I don't know if they're still in it, but they were in it for a little while and they were new. And they messaged me like, wow, Gems, I give you a lot of credit. This is hard. I didn't realize watching you do it, how hard it actually is to not, I was an addict, this person drinks. And I'm so very proud of them, whether they're still doing it or not. Right. But the one thing, they're like, do you have any advice? And I'm like, yes. I'm like, you're going to meet a lot of really amazing people who are very like-minded, who have a lot of the story that you have. Not exactly the same, but close. Like, we have similar stories in addiction, a lot of us. Do not become so open and friendly with them that you start to think they're your friends. And I know this is a very negative view to have, but the people in those rooms, you never know where their mind's at. And it's not a place we go to make friends, right? We make acquaintances and sponsors and sponsees, people to do that particular thing with. But from what I understand and from my experience, it's very bad or not really a good idea to get involved outside of those rooms with these people, at least in the very beginning, And that's kind of what I'm seeing. It's like a hard lesson you're going to have to learn, but you're going to bounce back from it so quick because it was so very important that you learn it. Josephine, Nix, respite. You're welcome, as always. Yeah, I don't 12-step either. I never did. I work the principles of seer. Shadowed figures cross the night, secrets shared, no need for fright. Within her arms now rest and heal. Those to trust she will reveal. By the power of the dark goddess in me, protection in place, blessed be. Josephine, shh. You're giving away your secrets. It's all too easy to confide in someone you wish to trust, especially when you're feeling vulnerable. Remember that appearances can be deceptive. You would be wise to be watchful and to trust no one at this time. Nyx calls to you across the night skies to find comfort and respite from she who is the mother of all creatures. She understands that you have endured a long, dark night of the soul and wishes to take you into her confidence. This sounds exactly like what you need at this time, but be warned. For if Nyx knows that you are too good at gleaning information from others just to use it for your own purpose, she will use all that you have revealed to her against you. Be mindful of how and who you share any particular information with. Take this opportunity to rest, regroup, and journey deep within with Nyx as your guide. Keep your cards close to your chest. Don't share your ideas with anyone at this time. You're a great listener and a natural counselor. Speak to someone you can trust, retreat and get away from it all, protect your work from the ambition of others, and appearances can be deceptive. So Josephine, once again, I see, and no judgment, we all have repeating cycles. I see you getting caught up in a moment, right? Not specifically a 1 minute in time, but getting caught up in a situation, right? Being so excited to meet this new person or to meet these new people and to be accepted. And this is a deep yearning that's in a lot of light workers, a lot of empaths, a lot of people with abilities. We just want to belong. We don't want to be different at certain points in our lives. I mean, the older we get, we're like, nah, whatever. But I feel like you're in that space too, where you're just like, I don't want to be the outcast. Like, I want to have this kind of friends and I want to do these types of things. And I feel like the issue with that, that's great that you want to put yourself out there more. But the issue with that is that you're basing this on something you see someone else doing. There's some sort of jealousy here from you to another person. And when I say jealousy, people always get offended. Like, I'm not jealous of anybody. I don't mean it like that. I just mean you're trying to put yourself in their shoes of like, what would it be like to be able to, date that person or have that job? And the thing is, you can find out for the most part and within reason what those things are like by going out and getting them yourself. In the next couple of weeks, the most important thing, Josephine, I want you to remember is do not allow yourself to be not only deceived, but kind of, I see like wooed, right? Like someone is really laying it on thick to try to get information out of you or to try to get you to admit something or to try to get money or something else from you. And the problem is your longing that you're having in your soul right now to belong to something, to be a part of something, maybe to have more friends, or maybe it's somebody who's trying to get into your pants and you're looking for a romantic partner. It's that you're spinning a narrative that isn't true. You're only seeing this person or these people and this situation for what you want it to be, not what it is. Okay? And living in that darkness with no light shined on it is exactly, you're okay with it. But the universe is like, think about how you're going to feel when it all blows up in your face and this person severely disappoints you and lets you down and fails you. You're going to take 50 steps backward from anything you've accomplished and achieved and gone through. So is it really worth it? That's not saying you have to call anyone out if you know they're BSing you. You certainly can. I don't see like any danger in that. But do not just accept what someone's saying simply because it sounds good to hear and you haven't heard it in a while. Someone is trying to deceive you. Somebody is telling you everything you want to hear and then some. And again, you know deep down inside it's not right, but you want so badly for it to be that you're willing to deal with the pain later and just feel the good feelings now. And the universe is like, you can do that if you want, but it is a very, very bad idea. And it could take you out of commission for months and months. It's going to be so energetically and spiritually disastrous rather than if you just say, oh, that's nice. You can be cordial about it and be friendly or be cute or play coy, but do not fall into it. Call them out. You're so full of crap. Make light of it. Don't take anything like this seriously in the next 2 weeks, especially if it's all coming from someone who you don't instinctively trust. Kelly? Kelly, I'm going to use Aether Creatures. Oh, another thing I woke up to today. And guys, this is what I mean, where it's just one thing after another after another. What's up, Julie girl? Is I woke up. So I have this thing on my Chime card. I have PayPal, Cash App, and Chime. Okay. And Chime is like my major main debit credit account. And I get my YouTube money is technically direct deposit, right? And you have to have at least $200 a month to count as the direct deposit. And they give you all these benefits like percentage cashback at the end of the month and a spot me. So I was up to, you get $5 spot me at a time. And when you pay it back, you get another $5. I was up to $60 spot me, which is great because when things try to come out, Chime will just give the money and then I just pay the money back as soon as I can and we're good. They paused my Chime Plus membership because my direct deposit, which is my Patreon and my YouTube, did not equal $200 for the last 2 months. So I call them and I'm like, you're punishing your customers for not making enough money, right? But it's like one thing after another. And once you're focused on that negative situation, it seems like you can't think of anything else. Like all of my issues right now seem financial, even though I'm sure there's 100 other issues I'm having and things going on. But for me, it's my main focus. So I'm trying, and if you guys would pray for me, to try to see the big picture, to try to think more on an eternal level, to try to pull myself out of this intense focus on negative. Yeah, after they shadow ban me. Like YouTube, I don't make a lot. I never do. But I guess with the YouTube and the Patreon, it does end up equaling like $203 or something. And the last 2 months, it didn't equal at least 200 and they knocked my plus. And I'm like, wouldn't I need spot me more if I'm making less money? Right? Because the direct deposits are still coming in. They're just not equaling $200. They make you feel like a real bum. Because right underneath, they're like, if you need information about unemployment, and it's like, oh, okay. Kelly, you got the Yeti in the upside down position, the reverse. Card number 50. Jules, you know what, girl? You are so right. And I think that's exactly it, right? That's what I need. I need to have those positive things in my mind. All right, Miss Kelly. Just let me find it in the reverse. If the Yeti appears to you in reverse, you are being made aware that you need to allow something to remain a thing of the past and embrace the message that a new future is calling you. What the past is for you in this situation could be many things. A mentality, a self-identification, the way a relationship has been, or a thing you have been committed to achieving for years. What do you intuitively know the Yeti is telling you to let become a thing of the past? So it's finally time to say, you know what? This isn't working. I know deep down inside, it's just not for me. But they always say, don't continue in a mistake because you made a long time making it. Right? So use a toxic relationship, for example. Doesn't matter if you've been in it for 20 years. If you're finally fed up and you have enough and you're able to get out of the toxic relationship, don't worry about what other people are going to say. Don't worry about the time you wasted. Just be glad you're not going to waste anymore. And there's something here, Kelly, that you need to let go of. You need to accept that it either isn't anymore or can't be. Right? You either have to leave it in the past where it belongs or step away from it and allow it to become a part of your past. There's something here you're kind of, I don't know if you're fighting for it or if you're like, you are. It's kind of like accepting, like I was saying to Josephine, right? Knowing that someone is full of crap yet going along with it because it sounds so good to hear, you know? It's something like that, where deep down inside, you know, whatever this is isn't working for you anymore, whether it's a relationship, a job, a goal, or a dream that you have to just cross off and say, not in this lifetime. Those things are hard to give up on. And with the older we get, the harder it becomes, because we're like, we put so much, even just our thought energy alone that we put into this throughout a lifetime of dreaming of it, right? That's what this card is saying. In the next couple of weeks, it is time for you to release whatever this is, or whoever, or whoever this is, to the past, to the universe, and say, you know what? This isn't me anymore. This isn't for me. Now, on the other side of this coin, it could be one or the other or both of these things for you, okay? Take it as it resonates. This is someone coming in and reminding you of something from your past that is embarrassing, shameful, that you kind of cringe when you hear it. We all have those moments. Not allowing that to affect you, knowing that this person is just being a garbage person. By doing that, they're not squeaky clean. They have things they regret too, right? That they don't want to talk about. So you can question why this person is doing that, or walk away from them. Maybe it's them that has to go, but something here has got to go, because it is taking up way too much precious time, energy, taking too much spirit from you. It's just taking too much. And not just time, right? It's taking from every intrinsic area of your being, every aspect of who you are. It's being taken little by little by this one thing. You have got to release it. If you don't, in the next few weeks, it's going to get worse and worse and worse, until finally it blows up in your face and you have no choice but to accept that it's not going to work and you have to move on. But since you didn't make the decision yourself and the universe had to make it for you, you're going to go through the same exact thing again, just in a different scenario. Please let go of people, places, and things that no longer serve you, and stand on that. Stand in that power. You got this. You can do it. It's really hard, but you got this. Slow motion, good night. Who's next?
New England's next, if he wants, is actually Pixie, but she had to leave, so I figured we'd give her a timestamp at the end, okay?
Okay.
New England's next, if he wants it. You know how he gets.
Okay. Netter, let me know. I'm shuffling Deep, Dark, and Dangerous.
And when you get
I'm going to do Pixie as a timestamp because she had to go. She's taking care of a sick kitty.
In private when you get a chance. No rush.
Okay, sir. I'm hoping to be back for afternoon Paranormal Talk Tuesday, which is afternoon talk this coming Tuesday, guys. So stay tuned for that as well, okay? Netter, you got card number 14, Deep, the card of beauty. It is the mermaid. Guys, if you didn't get your copy of Encounters with Evil Volume 2, go on Amazon and grab you a copy. Otherwise, send $20 to my PayPal or Cash App, and I will send you an autographed copy before you make the purchase, though. Beauty is a high value when it illuminates and inspires, but it is in the eye of the beholder. Relying just on outward appearances is shallow and temporary. If beauty is the only virtue, then others need to be developed. Love your own unique beauty. If you are using your beauty to manipulate someone, be wary. This particular kind of magic wears thin after a while. Even children know what a mermaid is. The idea of the half-human, half-fish type creature is all through your storybooks and collective consciousnesses. Yet, mermaids are a varied bunch. Yes, they are aquatic, often beautiful, happy generally to do and be mermaids, but depending on where you go in the world, culturally, they can be deeply dangerous or irresistibly seductive, or both. In almost all cases, even with the Greek mermaid-like creatures called the sirens, the mermaids have an extreme beauty. Such is their beauty that they are, at the very least, noticed, and at the worst, an object of obsession. Jules, what do you mean? So what is the shadow side of such beauty? Wouldn't everyone love to be this glorious? The perils of extreme beauty are at the heart of the mythos of Helen of Troy and Medusa and even Scylla. The desirability of women this beautiful means they can be objectified, taken as kind of a trophy, or made a target of jealousy. By being seen or admired, these women lose a part of themselves and sometimes their lives as they knew them. If we consider the way the modern beauties of today are turned into fodder for gossip media, we may see how this still plays out. Oh gosh, because I have a spirit that goes by Mandy Pandy. I got you. You freaked me out there for a second. Part of the mermaid mythos, too, is that because of their beauty, people could and would lose their wits and lives. The story of lonely sailors seeing beautiful mermaids and swimming to them is a common enough motif, yet this story rarely has happy endings for all. Sometimes the mermaids are the siren kind, where they lure sailors to devour them. Sometimes the mermaids are sweet and curious, yet do not understand that these humans cannot indefinitely be in the sea and unintentionally allow their land-based suitors to drown. Maybe the men try to keep up with the mermaids, transfixed by their beauty and following them down into the depths and drowning before they realize how deep they've gone. Plant companion is Lotus, and your crystal companion is Larimar. So, Netter, this one's pretty simple, actually. Don't judge a book by its cover. And do not be deceived by something pretty, beautiful, sparkly, shiny. It's like you're being drawn to something or someone. It doesn't have to be a person. It could be an idea, a way of life, a way of living, a fad. Like it could literally be anything that you're being very drawn to. Looks good on paper. Sounds good. The problem is you're being deceived. Willfully and purposely deceived by someone. Now, the reason I'm seeing this is a little weird is because it doesn't necessarily mean that there's someone specifically targeting you. This is like going on the internet and coming across a cult on the internet and joining, right? It's not specifically targeted at you, but you're being lured in nonetheless. And I feel like whatever this is, you're not interested in getting all the information or finding out the minute details. You're like, yes, this sounds great. I'm going to do it. Or this person's awesome. I'm going to go for it. And really jumping into something way too quickly without having all the facts and without having all the information because you're looking for something, right? And a lot of us are. You're looking for something so almost desperately that you're willing to accept what and or whoever this is at face value and deal with the consequences if there are any later. And the universe is telling you that's going to be a very, very bad idea. You are going to end up spiritually shattered, emotionally broken. I mean, this is really bad, whatever this is. And they're showing me a cult, and I'm not saying you're joining a cult. It's just like that type of thing, right? Where it's so incredibly devastating by the end of it. By the time the smoke settles and the dust clears and you look back on the last however many years, like, what the heck did I just get myself into? It's too late. You've already gone through it. There's not going to be any turning back from this. So before you make any major decisions, before you allow yourself to be lured into something, just ask for some more details. Ask to see the research. Ask, talk to other people. Read the reviews, right? And I feel like if you do those things and you don't just say, you know what, I've got nothing to lose, I'm doing it. If you don't just do that and you take even a moment or two to look into what and or whoever this is, you'll understand that either it's not for you or that you want and need to learn a little bit more about this person, this situation, whatever it is, before you make a major decision, okay? And this is really important for the next 2 to 4 weeks. Yeah, tell Miss Mandy Pandy we said hello. That's so funny.
Here's the deal. Divine is next, then Jules and Mandy. So hello, Mandy. Then that's it, other than timestamps. Unless people come in as we're talking.
Divine, I'm going to use the Halloween Oracle. It could be, what? I always do the readings, Netter, for like the next week or two. So it's not always going to be something you're already resonating with. It's more than likely, if you don't know what in the world I'm talking about, it's something that's coming in very soon. And this is like it's even better that way because the universe is making you aware of it previous to it happening. Because I feel like now when it does happen, when you do start to feel this way, or when someone does try to start luring you in, you can take a step back and be like, oh wait, I was warned about this, right? This freaking card. Divine, you got Barnbrock. Sweetness and synergy. Not quite a cake and not quite a bread. Barnbrock is a sweet loaf larger than a typical bread loaf baked with flour, sugar, salt, and dried fruits such as raisins. The making of Barnbrock is an Irish tradition that still stands around Samhain, Halloween. The person baking the loaf would be sure to set the intention for love, truth, and synergy while it's preparing. Inside the dough, a number of special objects are hidden and baked into the loaf. The objects are used as a kind of random oracle. Each one has a particular meaning, which represents the fate of the person who found it in their slice. The traditional something doesn't want me to get this out too. The traditional objects include a coin, a pea, a stick, a ring, and a small piece of cloth like muslin. Some other additions made in more modern times were religious medals. Should your slice of the brat contain a coin, this could indicate prosperity and good luck. The pea, unfortunately, meant that no marriage would occur for you that year, yet finding the ring meant marriage was certain. The stick, to be avoided at all costs, indicated disputes and unhappiness, and finding the cloth means bad luck and little money ahead. When you pull the Barnbrock card, it indicates a curiosity to know what's ahead, but it's important to balance that with the now. After all, we have the tools to change our future should we choose. The sweet synergy of Barnbrock, all the ingredients, including the objects, are more complete and powerful together than they are individually. Should encourage you to seek your own quote-unquote sweet spot. So the one thing, absolutely, I stand with Blue on that one. So one of the things I was seeing here is like, hold on, I want to look at that again because I got a quick flash of something. Okay. Divine, one of the things I'm seeing is you're thinking you already know the outcome to something. So whether it's positive or negative, and I do feel more like it's negative, like you're so sure that whatever this isn't going to work out or is always going to be this way and isn't going to change for the better, right? And the universe is saying to your team is like, you're thinking on a human level. You're not thinking on an eternal level. The more you focus on things not working, something not changing for the better, not getting that promotion, not earning enough money, the more you focus on that, and Jules was just telling me about this, and I know it better than anyone, really. And even I do the same stuff all the time because I'm only human in my brain. The more you're going to manifest those outcomes. You know a lot about manifestation. You read tarot. You're a very spiritual person. You know that the more you focus on the negative, the more negative you're going to bring in. And yet in this one situation, it's almost like a part of you just refuses to believe that it can get better or that it can turn in your favor. The universe is telling you, you have the options and opportunity, and you're going to have many chances to change your future, including whatever this is. In the next week or two, possibly going forward 3 or 4 weeks, there's something big happening in your life. It's something you don't feel too good about, right? You don't feel very positive about it. You're kind of going through the motions because you maybe feel like, I see you as like feeling constricted, chained, like you have no room to move or breathe within and in this situation. The universe is like, change the way you're thinking. Right. So this is definitely, they're like, no, this is not about giving him another chance, but I'm sure it does have something to do with that situation. Maybe the way your intrinsic knowledge that he is just not good could be affecting your daughter, or And or it is, I think, that time to be like, you know what? When does his right as a parent, when did his right as a parent start superseding his ability to do so? Right? Just because you are a parent doesn't mean, like, being someone's parent, being someone's father, for example, doesn't trump having to, like, be a good person, treat the child well. Do you know what I mean? It's not more, it doesn't mean more than anything else. It isn't the end all and be all of things. They say anyone can be a father, but it takes someone special to be a dad. And I think that's kind of what you're dealing with here. It's like, how much damage will it do if you just say no more? That's it. As opposed to if you allow him to still parent and he continues parenting in this way. Parenting. And welcome. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's a major decision to make. And I can see why that would be such a desperate struggle. Ghost. Got to fix that, hun. Got to fix it. I can see why that would be such like a, we started like bouncing. I was like, what's going on? Why that would be like a desperate thing. But what the universe is telling you is that this could change things in ways that you're not even seeing. Perhaps it could be the wake-up call he needs. And a year or two down the line, he can come back and deal with, you know, whatever it was that he caused and did and why he wasn't there. But it's not the end all and be all, right? But for now, what's more important? Her safety and how she feels on the inside than his, you know, impregnating you and having rights to her. And I'm not judging you. Whatever you agree with, I'll just go along with as your friend and somebody who cares about you, and I'll support you anyway, because I don't know your life or your heart or your feelings, and I don't know what it's like to be in that situation, right? What I will say, though, is your spirit team is like, this is what you need to think about. But don't only focus on the positive effects it might have on her, because you're going to end up inadvertently bringing those about and manifesting them. Focus on I meant to say negative. Focus on the positive aspects, right? She won't have to feel a certain way anymore. You won't have to worry so much anymore. You know, you have a decision to make, and the universe is like, whatever you make it be, it'll be, you know? Let's do Miss Jules and then Miss Mandy. Jules, I'm going to use the Talisman Oracle. Courage. This card represents courage, will, and determination. Jules, it will be through dealing with a new set of obstacles that you will make your most significant leap forward. We learn little from times of ease. The peaceful moments in life reward us for the hard work we've done, but those easy times don't give us the opportunity. You're so welcome, sweetie. You know what? Excuse me, Jules. Divine, I agree. But to a point, right? I'm so proud of you. I don't envy your situation. And if you just need to talk, I'm here. To show our perseverance and strength of character, you have what it takes to see this situation through to the end. Courage evolves and it can grow into compassion, patience, and even forgiveness. Nevertheless, alongside the hard times in life, we can still see the joy and be present for all the goodness coming our way. Jules, this card is talking about exactly what you were saying to me when you came in and you heard me make that negative statement. It's like, why are you focusing on the negative, girl? Look how far you've come. Look at all the things you've accomplished despite and in spite of everything you've been through, right? Every time someone told you what you are, every time someone told you who you were, what you can do, what you can be, where, like, you have so courageously fought through all of that. And now something's coming into your life where it's like you're starting to feel like that little girl again. I call it the little girl in the closet, because when I was younger, whenever I would get scared, I would want to go into a space where I felt protected, and I would go into my tiny little closet at my house until there was like this evil demonic troll thing in there that used to smile from ear to ear in the middle of the night and creep me out. So I went under the bed. But it's like that, right? You're suddenly reverting to this scared little girl again. And the universe is like, no, we're not having that. Your spirit team is like, you got to get it together. This person or this situation, again, no judgment or indictment, but is not worth the energetic gobbledygook it's putting you through, right? You are way stronger than you're even aware of. And I feel like you've come into so much confidence and strength and dignity in the past few years that I've known you. And you're just such a beautiful, strong woman. Like, I look up to you. You don't take no crap from no one. And, you know, I love that. I'm from Jersey. Of course I do. But there's something here that it's like, I don't know if you're afraid to hurt someone's feelings. So you're kind of just allowing yourself to be treated a certain way, or you don't want to hurt someone's feelings. You don't want to turn down an opportunity that you don't really want, something you don't want to do. There's this fear here of not wanting to make someone feel the way you were made to be, make someone feel the way you were made to feel in the past. The problem with that is I feel like this person is kind of bringing it on themselves. Like, they know that you may not actually want to do this. They know that you may not actually want to be involved, and they're putting you in that position anyway. So how much are they really thinking about your feelings? Jules, in the next couple of weeks, match energy. And you will know if someone's aware of how you're feeling and trying to pretend like they're not, right? You match energy. Someone messes with you, mess with them. Give it right back. This is going to get you back in the habit of, you know, immediately calling out the BS and not leaving any room for yourself to be bamboozled or dazzled by something or someone, right? Because that's exactly what's about to start going on here if it hasn't happened already. Someone is trying to convince you of something or to do something that they already know you don't want to do, you don't want to be involved in, but they know that sweet old Jules, who never wants to hurt anyone's feelings, like, they don't know the lion in you. You've only shown them the lamb because there's been no reason to bring out the roar, right? Let them see the fangs. Let them know that you're on to them. Tell them to pack up and ship off. You do not need anyone in your life that's going to manipulate you or make you feel bad or less than because you don't want to do something. And weigh it, match the energy. How much have they done for you? And how many hard things have they done for you that they really didn't want to do, but they did it anyway? Or were they busy that day? Or you're just getting to know someone and already they're trying to pull this. You do not have sucker written on your forehead, okay? You are beautiful, strong, confident, and a fine example for many women. And anyone who has you in their physical presence is very fortunate to be around someone like you. So anointed and spiritually blessed. Do not fall back into old patterns where you start feeling weak and vulnerable again. It's not that you can't ever be weak or vulnerable in the right company, but limit who you allow to see you in those states. If something doesn't feel right, don't get involved. If you don't want to do something, say no. If someone can't handle that, they weren't meant to be in your life anyway. Mandy, I'm going to use Della Nwait. Yeah, this thing would come out of the closet on me. And the closet was my safe space. And, oh, just to think about it. Black Dragon, what's that? The Wolf, card number 22. Mandy, I am the wild wolf standing before a full moon. I often appear in fairy tales, though my appearance is feared most of the time. They say I'm cruel, hungry, and merciless. They say I eat little pigs, little boys, little girls, and grandmothers as well. They say I hide in the forest with my gleaming fangs and voracious appetite. But this is all a legend. I'm actually nobler, sweeter, and more inspiring than what is being said everywhere. I'm here to tell you that your inner wilderness needs to be heard and unleashed. Stop being reasonable, tidy, careful. Go through the forest, bay at the moon, dig your claws into the ground, and show your fangs. I literally just told Jules to show her fangs. Run, growl, bark. The time has come to be wild. Your soul belongs to the night and to the moon. The wolf within you wants to be released and act freely. So listen to this call and unchain your inner wolf. Mandy, there is a situation, if not several, but there's one in particular. Good night, Miss Batmom. Thanks for stopping in, babe. But one in particular where it's like, you know, kind of just like what I said to Jules, not the same situation, but it's kind of, it is beautiful. Kind of where you're like, I don't want to make any waves. I don't want to, you know, stir the pot at all. You know, I have a different opinion. I feel very differently. I don't want to do this. I don't want to be here, but I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to be, you know, and the universe is like, well, that's great. Again, dead balls. Again, it's good to be that way in certain situations, but there are situations in our life that call for us to act out, to stand up for ourselves, for what we believe in, for other people that we feel are more vulnerable than us. There is someone here, I don't know if you're being abused, and I don't want to get too personal, or if there's just some abuse and toxicity in your past where you kind of been trained to just be seen and not heard. Again, kind of like Jules is reading and kind of a running theme tonight. It's like in the next couple of weeks, if it's not happening already, you will find yourself in a situation where it's like it almost pains you not to say something. And the universe is like, why won't you? We're humans. We're not animals. We should never allow ourselves to be trained to behave a certain way, right? We have emotions and feelings and wants and needs and deep desires that we have every right. It's our divine right to express. You're going to be walking into, again, if it's not already happening in the next couple of weeks, an extremely familiar situation where you feel immediately like, let me not say anything. Let me make myself as small as possible. Let me, you know, there's something here that is like just so reactive to you, right? As soon as it happens, this is how you react. You shut down. The universe is saying, no, it's time for you to learn and grow and move into this space of taking up space, of being as big and as bold as possible and saying, no, I don't want to do that. No, that's wrong. No, 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 right? F you, F you, F you, you're okay, F you. This is the universe testing you. Another thing I want to say is don't believe everything you hear. I do get the sense that you're being told that something is like really, really good or really, really bad and you shouldn't get involved or you should definitely get involved. Whichever one it is, I feel like it's the opposite. So say someone's saying, yeah, you know, oh, you don't have a place to stay? Go stay with Bob. He's so amazing. I stayed with him for years. My girlfriends have stayed with him. He doesn't try anything with you, you know. Yeah, he's good. But you just have a weird feeling, but you don't want to offend anyone. So you're like, I'll stay with Bob. And then Bob makes a pass at you the first night. Go with your instinct and your intuition. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Do not sit back and watch the world go by. Do not sit back and allow things to keep happening to you. Live in the moment, live them. And for the next 2 weeks, again, say what's on your mind. Do what you feel needs to be done and follow your own instinct, not the training that was given to you throughout your life. Black, you ready for your reading? Because we're moving into timestamps. That is Gen X. Yeah, you're absolutely right there. I'm going to read for Black Dragon. We're using energy and spirits. If there's anyone else that paid or that's a member or that wants to pay for a reading, it's $2 to my PayPal or Cash App, $4 through YouTube because they take 49% of everything. let me know now. Of course, you can donate more than that if you'd like to cover readings for people who can't afford them this week. Otherwise, I'm so glad you guys came in. We'll do Black Dragon, Tennille, and KC, and we'll keep it pushing. I'm good with an early night on Fridays. I've got soccer with my little guy at 9. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Smoochie. I hope so. I've been exploring back into that a lot lately. You know, I don't talk about it on the channel because I don't want to be divisive, but I've come into like a new acknowledgement, you know, a new awakening of not just my spirituality, but my religion as well. And it's affecting me in such a great way in my regular life. I'm much more patient and, yeah, I thank you for noticing. Okay, Black, you got kinship, community, your group in the upright position. This card shows a small group of people sitting around a campfire experiencing a fun evening together. There's a warm and intimate energy with shared feelings of genuine closeness. This type of group connection is an important energetic element in your life. When you join them with the right people, you can fulfill lifetimes of karmic purpose and lessons with great benefits for you and the others involved. This vortex of supportive energy is very valuable, for it can lift your mood when you're down and inspire you to further achievement when you're already flying high. So, join forces with others of like minds, whether those people are friends, coworkers, team members, or spiritual seekers. Prioritize each other's goals and support one another on your personal path. Your union with these people could lay the foundation for genuine self-expression, happy experiences, and pure joy. Yeah, Cowie, absolutely. So your affirmation, I recognize the energy and intentions I share with others. I am open to connecting with the many kindred souls who bring purpose and joy to my life. So Black Dragon, I feel like in the next couple of weeks, you have the opportunity to get to know some new people, or it could be that, but I'm kind of getting the sense too that it's just this new way of thinking. Maybe not in an extreme way, like converting religions or, you know, flat earthing. Not that there's anything wrong with that if that's your thing, but it's just something that's much different than something you've already been doing, and or a new group of people that are very different from the people you normally hang around with, right? So the universe is saying, don't, you know, again, with don't base it on past experiences. Don't put labels on people until you get to know them, which I don't think you do. I do feel reluctance of like, you know, I don't want to be making new friends at this point in my life, but I feel like there's a reason this friendship, this kinship is coming in. Okay. There's a reason that in the next couple of weeks, if it hasn't started already, you're starting to get this new way of thinking. You're starting to build these new friendships and relationships, even if it's just with one new person. And it's because you're discovering something about yourself, maybe your chart, your path, your spirituality. This is spiritually important, imperative even, that you allow this to happen. Okay. That you allow yourself to kind of be pulled into this friendship, this situation, this vocation, like whatever it is. The universe has an enlightenment for you. That's not the right word. They want to enlighten you about something, but in a very, very special and specific way. So if you block people out, if you refuse to accept invitations to go places, if you're refusing to be open-minded in any area of your life, then, you know, this is not going to work out. And then you're not going to learn the lesson. And it could possibly stunt your growth, not only physically in your life, but spiritually, mentally, physically, and psychically as well. I mean, it could really do some damage in the areas you can't see if you don't open up, at least for the next couple of weeks, and accept random invitations, you know, talk to people you normally wouldn't speak to. Because I do think there's a connection that definitely needs to be made here. Ah. Aw, Jules, you're so sweet. Thank you. You guys are also tremendous. Yes, I'm dead balls accurate. I love when if she doesn't say that, I probably would think I said something wrong. Like, that's our thing. All right, Cowie. What do we want to do for Sir Cowie over here? Cowie, I'm going to use Aether Creatures for you as well. I just might. All right, Cowie. Yeah, I saw that. Like, that's what I was saying. There's a reluctance here, but really try to push through that. And I feel like you'll it's not every single person you come across, but I feel like you might instinctively be drawn to some person or some event or something that's a little bit out of your range of what your normal is. And that's when you'll know that this is what I was talking about, what your team was talking about. Cowie, you got 29, card number 29 in the upright, the koi. If koi appears to you right side up, you are in need of perseverance, determination, willpower, and strength. The universe has sent you koi because you require a reminder that you possess these qualities, whether you believe you do or not. This is a message that you have what it takes, so don't let doubt inhibit your progress. If you want to amplify these qualities, you could benefit at this time from the energy of actual golds or wearing the color golds. Quite literally, when koi appears to you right side up, you are being encouraged to be like those original fish that swam against the current for 100 years in pursuit of their ultimate goal. Metaphorically speaking, you are meant to reach the top of that waterfall. So don't give up and don't change course at this time. Keep going. Don't quit before the miracle happens. They say that in recovery, and I hate the cliched, sayings, but that is one that makes so much sense, right? Don't quit before the miracle happens. And I feel like your miracle, whatever this is that you've been wanting desperately or searching for, working hard towards, there's some ultimate goal and achievement here that you're seeing is all the way up here, but it's actually right around the corner. And I feel like there could be a part of you, or maybe all of you recently, that's been like, I'm not seeing any changes here. I'm not seeing any growth. I'm not seeing myself get any closer, or I'm seeing myself get closer, but it's not happening fast enough. Like, remember, the universe works, God, whatever you believe in, on an eternal timeline. Not our human linear BS mind calendar, right? The universe is saying to you, if you quit or give up now or in the next few weeks, you will never realize your true potential particularly in this one area. Keep giving it your all. Keep persevering. Stay as positive as you possibly can within these circumstances and keep going, because whatever this is, you were meant to have, obtain, achieve, receive, whatever this pertains to. All right. Focus only on the positive and only on moving forward to the best of your ability. And Cowie, I'm telling you, within the next 3 to 6 months, your ultimate goal in this area is going to be reached, or you're going to be significantly further along the path than you ever could have imagined right now, as you sit and you doubt and you wonder and you worry. All right. I know it's impossible to, I can say, don't worry about it, it's going to be fine, all I want. It's impossible not to worry, especially when we're so invested in things or in people, right? Whatever this is for you, you've made an amazing investment and you've invested so much already. Keep going. It is meant to be. It is going to be worth it in the end. Just don't give up. Your perseverance, your strength, your will, your drive, they're all being tested right now by the universe. Not because the universe wants to have a got you or like a got you moment on you, but because the universe wants to make sure you are absolutely ready for the amazing greatness it's bringing to you that you've earned, deservedly so. Let's move on to Tennille. I just love this deck for her. So we're going to do Dark Goddesses, the new one again. And I do it all the time. It's so annoying. And I catch myself doing it. And I'm like, well, look around. This hasn't changed in 8 years. And no matter what I've done, no matter what, and afterwards I kick myself in the butt. You're welcome, Cowie. Thank you. because I'm like, dang, you know, how much damage did I just do now? You know? All right, Miss Lotus Girl, let's see what's going on. Okay, what came out? Circe, manifest. That's okay, Blue. We're getting ready to end anyway. I'm okay with an early night. Like I said, I got to get up early. You have magic within you that's unique and all your own. Circe is urging you to use those abilities to manifest the life you want. What is it that you need or that you want? Tennille, you already have all the resources, energy, and tools you need to reach your goal. So focus your intention clearly and take action to manifest your heart's desire. Now, this is absolutely true. As you know all about manifestation. We did the 999 together for a little while. But let me tell you, what I really saw in this card is how you manifested your own wellness, your own physical wellness at some point and got rid of a lot. Good night, Mom. Thanks for coming in. Love you. A while ago, that's what this is talking about. You're going to be in physical pain. And the universe is like, you know, don't be toxically positive, right? This isn't toxic positivity, but know that it's worth it in the long run. You know, try not to think about it. Don't not do something because you're afraid of how it's going to turn out or you're afraid of it being painful. You know, do what needs to be done and the universe will continue to provide one thing after another after another. You're another one I want to say, like, don't give up right now. And in fact, I feel like if you could give yourself a few minutes or maybe a couple of days to take a step back and take a deep breath, you will actually see that there is a different way of doing things and there is possibly a way out of a bad situation. You just overlooked it all for years, maybe months at least, because you didn't even have the time to really sit and go through. You have all the resources you need to make something happen. But I feel like there's a part of you, even if it might even be subconscious, that's just afraid of something going wrong. So it's not even worth the risk to you. When it comes to the physical pain, you know what you've got to do to at least dampen it a little bit until the doctors can take care of it. As far as the rest of it, stop, take a deep breath, talk to your guides, meditate if at all humanly possible, and get the download you need to understand the resources you already have that can make things that you're looking to achieve much more possible, much more quickly. What's up, Heather girl? No, not at all. You're going to be our last one besides one timestamp. So you're actually just in time. I'm glad you didn't miss us. Let's use Della and wait. So Amanda, my readings are $2 to PayPal or Cash App or $4 to YouTube. If you want to donate that, then you can send that. Let me know that you sent it before I end, and I will gladly pull you a card and give you all the information that I possibly can. My partner is going to put my information in the chat. Miss Heather, we're using Della and Wait. I love this deck. I forgot about it. All right. Card number 3, Cinderella. Yeah, and Amanda, you're welcome to just hang out if you want to. If you come back in the beginning next week and like you can't or don't want to pay, sometimes people will pay for someone who can't, or you can take what resonates. And a lot of people get their messages that way. If they don't, want to pay or they can't pay, they listen to other people's readings and take on what touches them in their energy. But I don't do free reading. Heather, I used to live with my wicked stepmother and her vain and selfish daughters. Still, I kept my faith and hope unharmed. Then one day, okay, thank you, Heather. Amanda, let us know you're still here, please. Heather was nice enough to pay for your reading. Heather, thank you. That was really sweet of you. Let me start again. I used to live with my wicked stepmother and her vain and selfish daughters. Still, I kept my faith and hope unharmed. Then one day, the king planned a ball at his castle to get his son, the prince, choosing a wife. This is when my fairy godmother appeared and offered me a dress, a carriage, and glass slippers. After many adventures, I eventually got to marry my sweet prince and be happy at last. Obstacles are on the way. Obstacles in your way? Do not let them discourage you or demoralize you. Do not lose yourself in bitterness. Keep your faith strong. Keep your hope alive. And also keep a kind and generous heart. Your dreams will prove to be right in the end. They will come true, and you will get some kind of magical help in the most unexpected way. In the meantime, just dig in and wait for the big moment near to come where you will rise and shine. So I can't help but notice like several patterns. Amanda, I hope you're still listening. Somebody paid for your reading tonight. Like in this chat, it's been 3 different things. And this is definitely my favorite theme of the night, Heather, especially as it pertains to you, because I know how hard you've been working in so many different areas, right? This is the universe telling you that whatever, I mean, I know there are several areas of your life that you're trying to change and you're trying to make better and better yourself and your situation. But there's one area in particular that you just constantly think about, you know, when my life will be like this, or, you know, once I graduate or find love or whatever it is in your particular case, there's this big dream that makes you smile every time you think about it. The universe is telling you it is closer than you realize, right? You are much closer to achieving this goal or making this dream come true than you're even aware. But I feel like a lot of that isn't because you don't believe in yourself or because you don't think it's going to happen. It's because the people around you or a person around you is constantly telling you you're foolish, that's never going to happen. Like they're trying to bring you down to their level. And I feel like in the last couple of weeks, specifically, this may be getting to you a lot more than it was for a while. Like for a while, you were able to let it bounce off you, just keep doing your thing, focus. But then all of a sudden it started getting to you and wearing on you. And we all have those times where we're super spiritually strong for months. And then all of a sudden someone says one thing and we're like, back down here, you know, that's just being a light worker. That's just having that ability to connect with other people's energy, because we connect with the most negative just as well as the most positive, right? And we're usually the most positive one in the room, energetic wise anyway, or energy wise. The universe is saying, whatever you do, do not let anyone or anything take you out. I feel like there's something, I'm seeing a celebration. So that could mean you're gaining or obtaining or achieving something in the next couple of weeks. There's something to be very happy about, but it's personal to you. So whether you're actually having a party, like there's some major achievement coming in. The universe is saying, like, don't let anyone ruin this for you. Even if things don't go exactly the way you planned, even if there have been bumps in the road, right? It doesn't mean it isn't meant to be. It just means you're getting there a different way than what you planned. So the universe has to, prepare the way for you. Right? If you took a straight line to your destiny, your life would have no issues ever, and there would be no bumps in the road. But these little bumps and humps you have to jump over, and the hoops you feel you constantly have to jump through just to feel good or to get, one step in front of the other, that's because you took some side quests along the way. And the universe now has to move people and places and things. The time is coming. And this card couldn't be more clear that everything you've ever wanted is within your grasp. It may not be here in 2 weeks, but there's definitely a milestone coming. Even again, if it's just personal for you, just because they're showing it to me as a celebration, it means it's an important event. It doesn't mean necessarily there's going to be a celebration or a party, but the universe wants you to celebrate all of the little victories, all of the little moments. And sometimes that's just getting dressed, taking a walk and getting outside. For me, like, it could be that small and simple, but if it makes you feel good and makes you feel more positive and makes you feel better about yourself, your life, what you're doing, etc., do it. And don't let anyone judge that. Someone is really getting to you. They're really wearing you down and wearing you thin. And I hate to see that, because I feel like you did get over this major hump of seeking validation from this person. Like, they're toxic, they're never going to change, but something they said recently or something they did and said has gotten you back in that mindset of, what's the point, right? What's the use? It's never going to change. I am here to tell you it's going to change a lot faster than you think. Again, not next week, but just like I told Cowie, if you give up now, you'll never know. that your miracle is about to happen as long as you stay the course. Don't validation seek from people who are narcissistic or toxic. I would recommend don't validation seek from anyone but yourself. Heather, you are amazing. You are strong. You have gone through things that would have taken most other people out. Nobody has the right to sit in judgment on you or shame you about it. This is a call to action for you. To get back on your high horse concerning this person, know that you are more spiritually evolved, bigger and brighter and energetically and probably in every way possible, and they know you're slipping away. So instead of loving you and nurturing your dream and being positive, they're being more of a scumbag. But you know what? That's not more of a reason for you to let yourself down or stop what you're trying to do or stop striving. It's more of a reason for you to let them go and not allow them to be a part of it. It's okay to fall into a slump, but this is the universe telling you, pick yourself back up quickly because you could miss important opportunities that are coming in the next couple of weeks to move this process along and make it a lot faster. I'm going to read the timestamp for KC. Amanda, if you're still here, Heather was kind enough to pay for your reading. Heather, if she's not here and she comes in next week, she probably, I don't know, sometimes, I don't want to put this on her, a lot of the time people come in and when I tell them it's $2, they immediately leave and don't listen to anything else that I say. So that could possibly have happened. But if she comes in again, or I'll put it aside for next week and give someone who doesn't have the money they're reading. All right, Miss KC. Let's use energy and spirit. Heather, you got this. I feel a sadness in you that I haven't felt in a while. And just this kind of, again, not totally giving up, but questioning, why me? Or when is it going to happen? Or why do I have to put up with this in the meantime? Or, honey, I get it. But I'm telling you, the time is coming. The time is coming. You're no longer wasting all that time. You're taking action. You're making things work. You're doing things for yourself, for your family, to better yourself. Some people are not going to like that. Your light really is irritating this person's demon. And that's not on you, okay? Give them as little attention, energy, affection, as little words as possible. If you can ghost them all together, do that. Otherwise, as best as you can, block them out because they're going to destroy everything for you if you let them. And the way you let them is by giving up on yourself, your dreams, your goals. I know it's so easy to do when you're feeling like that. I know. Make sure you don't. The next 2 weeks specifically are going to be very important. You're either going to get some major opportunity, you're reaching a milestone, there's something big coming in. And you'll see it whether your energy's up or down. But I feel like if you're in a more positive mindset, it's going to be a more positive thing. You're going to be better able to recognize it for what it is and really be proud of yourself and pat yourself on the back, regardless of what some other says. Good, good. Miss KC, up from the depth. Releasing difficulty in the reverse position. Card number 6. This card reverse brings a warning that a difficult passage may be on the horizon or it may have already begun. Now, Casey, you know that this is in fact the case. Are you giving your power away to others? If so, it's time to muster up the courage to speak out and take action on your own behalf. We've talked about this a lot. You may be heading in an unwanted direction personally. Are you engaging in patterns of isolation or overindulgence? Even if you've been submerged in emotional darkness or fear, it's not too late to take control and reverse your direction. Consider all of your options and remember your soul's power. You have the ability to choose your own direction now. You may want to seek professional help, but you don't have to live this way any longer. You're not alone. Your spirit guides are willing to bring their love, healing, and wisdom to your every step, your every choice, to every single experience. KC, I'm not telling you what to do, obviously, but if you're not getting therapy, maybe it's something you want to think about. But I do feel like it's not so much that you're wasting time or wallowing so much to where you're not getting anything done. I just feel like the people around you do not understand your process. They don't yes, some of them are grieving as well, right? The loss of your husband, but not like you are. And maybe the only way to fix that is to be around people who have gone through the same thing. But what you can't do, Casey, you can do it, but what the universe is saying here you shouldn't be doing is allowing yourself to become that person that's like, well, I have nothing to lose anyway. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's what some of the people in your life are worried about, that maybe you're going down a wrong path and maybe being a little reckless. But here's the thing. You're allowed to be a little reckless right now. As long as you're not hurting yourself or others, you're allowed to do whatever you want. It's not a free pass, again, to hurt people or to royally hurt yourself, but it is kind of a free pass to roam and explore new ways of being, of thinking, of feeling, of living, of loving. And you're allowed to do that on your own. And I don't understand why so many people, why even one person would be giving you a hard time about making these types of changes after what you've been through. They just simply don't understand it. But it's not your job to make them understand. Your job is to understand it yourself, little by little, why you're feeling the way you are, why you're doing what you're doing, saying what you're saying, getting involved in whatever you're getting involved in, the path you've chosen to take since this tragedy happened. It's your job to understand that, not teach everyone else about it. You don't owe anyone an explanation for a single thing you're doing or the way you're living your life. Casey, I reiterate, I've said it time and again since the unfortunate passing of your husband. I don't know why people are coming down so hard on you in one area. You're a grown-ass woman. You have the right to spend your money on what and who you want. You have a right to you can do what you want. You don't owe anyone an explanation. There's a right way to present that to people, but if you bring it to them kindly and with love, asking them for patience and, you know, for them to back off and they still keep doing it, maybe you really have to put your foot down, stand on that business and step into your power in that area. Everybody, Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern, we will be discussing number 333, the 20-year haunting, and that's going to be a 2 or 3-parter each Monday because you guys said you prefer the 20 to 30-minute videos more than the 40-minute to an hour videos. It will be premiered. I just needed a little break. Also, if you can donate, I really do appreciate it. I did end up getting screwed out of all that money from the channel I write for, and I'm blasting it out there because, or I wrote for, because they had no right to do that to me. It's work I already did, and I'm tired of being quiet about the way they handle themselves in their business. On a happy and high note, I love you guys tremendously. Thank you for spending this time with me. I believe Afternoon Talk, Paranormal Talk Tuesday, will be back this Tuesday. If not, definitely the following Tuesday. I'm just not sure what my schedule looks like yet. And next week at Wednesday at 9 p.m., I'm not sure if it's live, but I will update you guys. Inquiries of Our Reality podcast. I will be on with them. I'm not sure again if it's pre-recorded or live. Good night, everyone. See you next week.